Let's make an omelet today. Yeah. We need some mesquite smoked ham. I got 2 eggs. Got some cheddar cheese. I'm going to shred that. And then some butter. So, climate change, they used to call global warming back in my day, okay? But it was like not really more like an existential threat. They had chlorofluorocarbons that supposedly had made a hole in the ozone layer, and that was going to let out harmful radiation that was going to, from the sun, that was going to, melt the ice caps and screw up our world. And so they had to get rid of chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, and eventually those were phased out from aerosol cans, and then the earth healed itself. Because, as George Carlin would say, even though he was not a climate scientist, the earth is a self-healing mechanism. The earth, in other words, is a machine. So, all right. So when did all this panic shit start? Well, at first it was global warming, and then it was, okay, based on CO2, the burning of fossil fuels, dead dinosaurs, hydrocarbons, was raising the temperature of the earth, polluting the atmosphere, and melting the ice caps. And there would be, woe to God, there would be the end of the world if human beings continued to use coal, natural gas, and fossil fuels, right? Like as energy and transportation sources of power. So then you started to hear about climate change, and I don't know when that exactly started. I know they had a movie with Al Gore in it around 2004, 2005, or was it, I don't know, 2006, 2007. It was called The Inconvenient Truth. I went and saw it, and it was an alarmist climate change movie, and people just watched it and were like, oh, and then they just went back to their daily lives like, oh, okay, well that was an alarmist movie. And it looks like Al Gore found something to do after he was defeated by George Bush in 2000. So we were so happy he had a career after one of the Clintonians, the liberal Democrat. We're so happy that he had a career after he was defeated, but it didn't really resonate beyond that. It was more like an alarmist movie that came out, and then after that, people just didn't give a shit. It was like, kind of like, I don't know, a dad says to his daughter, like, don't go out to that one club tonight, and she's just like, in one ear, out the other. There's some bad boys at that club, and the teenage daughter's like, fuck my dad, he's an old fart. I'm young, I'm gonna go do what I want to do. And so that was exactly, it's in one ear and out the other. No one's listening, really. No one's, they're not listening and then taking actions based on, So when did this term climate change, when was it everywhere? Well, it had to have been an organized thing by scientists and technological. It was organized by the military, industrial, technological, media, pharmaceutical complex, right? I mean, the liberal global world order, the Obamites. I mean, it was definitely created by them, Bill Gates and Al Gore and all of these people. So when a new hurricane hits the Gulf Coast, one just hit Florida. It's still hitting it, I suppose. It's weakening right now. Idalia or some shit. And so, anyways, have you ever met anybody named Idalia? Not once. But you might have met Idalia or something. But Idalia? Yeah. Anyways, they're getting woke with their names too in the hurricanes, huh? Getting pretty woke with it. Well, I guess it was already kind of woke naming system. They had Chantal back in 1988. I was like, Chantal, what is that? Is that Indian or something? Indo-Chinese or the hell is that? So maybe did I put too much ham in here? Well, I don't know. It's gonna be a beefy, cheesy omelet. And try a taste here. Mm. So when did climate change enter the internet? When did it start percolating? I really don't know when it really started. I guess it was probably like 10 years back or something. I don't think it started at Inconvenient Truth with Al Gore. It might have been called global warming. Might have been called climate change before, way back in a paper. I'm not exactly sure, as I'm saying. But when did it start every night on liberal global world order propaganda? The climate change. Well, hurricanes have been happening since time memorial. Man, I made my fingers greasy. I broke it. So, this fucker got stuck. Shit. I've never really done this before, so I've never well, you have done this before. It's just you don't usually. Oh, there we go. Got it. Boom. All right, that was. Well, I think it really, when Joe Biden and his corrupt Wall Street and Obama's and all these Clintons and all these corrupt ass people, the Democrat Party in general, Nancy Pelosi and so forth, I think when they started to push the climate change agenda really, really heavy, it might have started as early as Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth, but when they really started to pump it and push it, when they really started to push it hard, I think they started to make green energy deals in the name of saving the planet. Now, I never look at politicians as people that are like, oh man, I'm really concerned about the earth or the planet or the human species. They're concerned about their own families. They're concerned about their own people behind their gated walls. Now, I do find it hard to believe a corrupt family like the Bidens, or really wealthy families like the Obamas, really give a shit about the human race, or Bill Gates, or Mark Zuckerberg and these kind of people. I find that very, very hard to believe that they care about humanity or some shit. I know that's what they say. I know that's what they but they seek with all of their power and to personally enrich themselves constantly and consistently. So to me, that does not indicate a interest in the human race. It shows a interest in their party and the elites in the liberal global world order. So to me, that does not seem like it's dedication to the American people or to humanity itself. So when there are green energy scams and green energy shams, I think those are just corrupt business dealings. So it takes it takes coal, natural gas, fossil fuels to produce the the turbines that do the wind energy, and also to create the solar panels, photovoltaic solar panels. So anyways, it takes fossil fuel energy to make green energy. So it's not healthier necessarily for the environment. Plus, these assholes like the Heinz family court fortune guy, John Kerry, all these elites, they go on these, they go jet setting around the world, burning what? Fossil fuels. No, they're doing it because those are special people, right? And everybody else isn't special people. But they're the special people. Yeah. Because they're the elites and we're not. So they can burn fossil fuels all they want. But see, they want to make things just for themselves, and they want to make themselves rich and prosperous and powerful. But they don't really have a plan to share with everyone else. So that's not part of their plan. It never has been. So the plan for the elites is to slowly but surely erode constitutional rights and take away rights. And Klaus Schwab in the Davos, Switzerland, in the World Economic Forum, you will own nothing and be happy. You will eat the bugs. They want to push all these agendas, but they're for their own personal power, control, and enrichment. It is said that the world's citizens must take heed of the World Health Organization. Well, what is this globalist World Health Organization? Well, guess what? They're mostly funded by the Chinese Communist Party. That's why some folks online call Joe Biden Beijing Biden. He really is. He really is a communist. Most of the libtards and leftoids and Democrats are communists. So I put down the butter. Oh, and yes, I'm going to eat meat until the day I die. Yes, sir. Not going to be a vegan. So then I mix up this cheese and ham and egg until it's rather well mixed. So I can make this fabulously rich omelette with chives, cheddar cheese, ham, lunch meat, and 2 eggs. Yeah, that's about it. That's just going to hit the spot until later. We're going to have later tonight for dinner. It's way later, around 5 or 6 or something. We're going to have nacho cheese tacos. Yes, and maybe with some guacamole. I don't know if we're going to make any refried beans. Let me see if we have any of this. I don't think we have to make that. But... Well, Won't you know it? Don't you know it? Mom bought some refried beans. So we're good on that. Yeah, this guy was Indian. Amit Ray. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy, he could have changed his name to, I don't know, Vance Johnson or some shit. Now, you could see that his, if you looked at Vivek Ramaswamy, you could still see his skin was Indian. It was kind of yellow-brown, right? And so, even if he did call himself Vance Johnson, there was no hiding that his heritage was from India. All right, Amit Ray was also the same color as Vivek Ramaswamy, and his relatives were also from India. And but Amit Ray, who went to my high school, Amit Rai, R-A-I, yeah, he was really, really down to, he was a lot cooler than Vivek. He wasn't fake. Like when Vivek Ramaswamy is doing his stuff, there's something, fake about him. I mean, how could you really trust a Wall Street pharmaceutical hedge fund guy? I mean, do you think the Wall Street guys are the most trustworthy guys in the world? Hell no. That's like trusting somebody from Washington or something. So it's just not going to work out. Trusting somebody from Wall Street. Anyhow, everybody trusts Justin Belfort. The Wolf of Wall Street. Sure. Go for it. I guess with all these little pieces, it's hard to get them all out here, huh? I'll get it eventually. I'll get her done, boy. So, climate change scam, is it a hoax? It's probably like every single other thing in this corrupt world. It's a few bunch of people profiting, and then while they're screwing the 98% of us. And that's most likely what it is, more than half the time. It's always just a scam so that Joe Biden and his buddies, Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, can get richer and richer, and everybody else can get poorer and poorer. Now, no one denies that global warming or climate change is real. It's just that these Democrats, they try to profit off every single disaster, whether it's a slow-moving disaster or a fast one. They try to use every single disaster to benefit themselves, to enrich themselves. So if a virus comes along, they want to directly benefit from the vaccine. If a hurricane comes along, they want to directly benefit from pushing green energy. There was mysteriously contaminated gas in Florida. Why is that? Does gas usually get contaminated by diesel? It seemed to happen right before Hurricane Idalia in Florida. Mystifying, but all these climate change disasters seem to be happening during a liberal pro-climate change regime in power right now. It doesn't mean they'll always be in power. They could definitely lose the 2024 election. They probably will, because everybody's waking up to their bullshit that they're just thieving from the American people, thieving from humanity, and they think they're going to fucking get away with it with no consequences, because they think, well, since they were able to make the law so that they are the law, and that they are, in effect, above the law. of normal, ordinary citizens. Now, it's going to be a very rude wake-up call when they figure out that they're not above ordinary citizens. They'll try to insulate themselves. They'll try to hide. They'll try to use whatever method they can not to get in trouble for their crimes against U.S. citizens and against humanity itself. But they'll go hide away. They'll hire the most expensive lawyers, and they'll try their best to get out of it. But what does Trump mean when he says, if you're coming after me, I'm coming after you? What he meant by that warning is that when he does gain power again, he's going to punish his persecutors to the fullest extent of the law. So if he can't get Joe Biden, he'll go after Hunter. If he can't get Joe Biden, he'll go after Jack Smith. If he can't, he'll go after Alvin Bragg. Corrupt, old, sleepy, lying, hiding, bribing Biden. If he can't nail him, guess what? He's going to go nail Fonnie Willis. So they're in deep shit. Their agenda's falling apart. No one's buying it. No one wants to get off gas. No one wants to go purely to electric cars. They don't know what to do because no one's taking the lies. No one's taking the bait. I mean, there's some people are. All right, some people are taking hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, this is the gospel. But a lot of people are resisting. The resistance movement is bigger than the sellout movement. So, thankfully, there will always be sellouts. How do they brainwash people? Through the liberal global world order media, Microsoft, NBC, Bill Gates, NBC, basically NBC, Universal, ABC, Disney, CBS, Viacom, right? CNN. Oh, well, didn't quite go the fold that I wanted, but it was a bit too heavy, wasn't it? Yeah. So they brainwash through repetition, and they want to go after your children because they want to indoctrinate children into thinking like nice little Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates robots. And so that's why they want your children to be all lefties. And that's why they go after the youth so vigorously, because it's much easier to go after the youth and indoctrinate them because they haven't been around. So Amit Rai changed his name to Andy Ray to more Americanize it so that people Oh, yeah, that's excellent. Yes. Amit had to change his name to Andy Rai because kids at the high school would call him Omelette. So he had to Americanize his name, a la Charlie Estevez, Charlie Sheen, Martin Estevez, Martin Sheen. Um, Emilio said, my name is Emilio, and I'm going the Hispanic route. That I have Spanish descent, and I'm just gonna fucking deal with it, and I'm gonna let people know that I'm Emilio Estevez, and I'm not changing my name to Sheen. I'm not gonna call myself Johnny Johnson. I'm just gonna deal with it, and that took some bravery back then, right? All right, time. Oh yes, yes, yes. I'm so glad you're having a better brunch than I. We're just having this Wheeler's breakfaster. So, well, kudos to your meal. You're really rocking the decadence. So I don't deny that climate change or global warming exists because of the burning of hydrocarbons. I do question the motives of an elite that try to enrich themselves off such a climate crisis, climate change. I do worry about them because I don't think that their motives for saving the world are pure. I think it's just everything just to personally enrich them and the elites, the Democrats, the Bidens, the Obamas, the Clintons. I don't think it has anything to do with saving the earth. I don't think it ever has. As George Carlin once said, the earth is a self-healing mechanism. He said, pack your shit, folks, because the earth isn't going anywhere. It's lasted for 4.6 billion years or so. Pack your shit, folks, because we're leaving. So we'll be the ones that are extinct while the earth continues.